20th century, the answer may surprise you. It's three mega geniuses. First, of course, let's move from the west to the east. First, Beckett, Samuel Beckett. But be careful, Beckett, not Joyce. I hate Joyce. Sorry if you are Irish, but Beckett is also Irish. I think Joyce began well with his Dubliners, then Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man, so still goes. Ulysses, the bluff is here. With Finnegan's Wake, I became Goebbels, not a right-wing Goebbels, like a nice book to be burned. Incredible self-indulgent narcissism. You know, when he said, I wrote Finnegan's Wake to give 400 years of work to, I say, no thanks, you know. But Beckett is another thing. Beckett is, for me, the true, not like somebody asked me, what would be your greatest novel of the 20th century? My immediate choice was that the third one of his big trilogy, L'innommable, Unnameable. It's really, you don't even know who speaks. It's basically, literally, in Lacanian terms, the object itself who somehow speaks. It's not another person. So it's Beckett. Then, sorry, I don't have any choice here. I think that reading of Beckett as a tragic nonsense author, absurd, so it's totally wrong. If there ever was an optimist author, it's Beckett. The way I read his overrated, I don't like it too much, Waiting for Godot. Where is this idea that it's a desperate play? No, they are happy in enjoying. Godot will be coming, but it's not here. So we have all the time to amuse ourselves and so on. It's optimism. The same with Kafka, my second name. Kafka, well, my God, he comes as close as I can imagine to absolute literature. But Kafka, you know, intelligent Marxists always know this. When they ask after World War II, truly Marxist hardliner, his instant answer was Kafka. And with Kafka, I did some readings. I followed here my good friend Fred Jameson. First, it's totally wrong to read his mega novels, Castle, The Trial, as this desperate portrait of bureaucracy. No, the bureaucracy, that's what many people miss, is an extremely obscene entity in Kafka. You remember in The Trial, when Joseph K., after interrogation, being interrogated by the court, goes during the day to the same room and looks at the books that the judges were reading. It's all hardcore pornography, it's indicated. And you have all this. So for Kafka, an ingenious insight. Bureaucracy is directly sexualized as an obscene, dirty, self-sabotaging system. So it's absolutely Kafka. Now you will say, this is nonetheless a desperate view. Where is the optimist side? My advice to all readers. Focus on his, there are much less, but they are wonderful, animal stories. Like, you know, Josephine the Singing Mice. Fred Jameson suggested to me, if you look closely, the community of mice is poor group in some kind of very poor, miserable, but nonetheless socialist communist society. So it's a short novel, isn't this ingenious, about the role of an artist in the first stages of very poor socialism, where things do not yet function. His stories about Doc and so on. So there you find the progressive, unexpected aspect of Kafka, and very intelligent, many intelligent readers notice this. You know that Josephine, the mouse, was the last thing he wrote. And he, so it's that people complained above and below his apartment that he was laughing so loudly while
like
writing
Milan
it. You know, too pretentious wise. But he wrote years ago one wonderful essay on Kafka, where he said, you misread Kafka totally in the West as this tragic author, absent god, bureaucracy. For us, he says, Kafka is a comic author. That how this called metamorphosis, where you awaken as some bug. He said, read this as a comical children's story. You go to sleep, you awaken as a bug. Oh, isn't it funny? And so on. That's the key to Kafka. It's totally wrong to fall into this absent God. If anything, in Kafka, God comes too close, you know, which is a wonderful, crucial scene in his castle, where Joseph K., all the time you have these hints at the obscenity of the castle. No, that is not Joseph K., that is just K., how do you call it, when you measure the land. He is employed to measure in the... Okay. He enters a schoolroom and asks the teacher there, a lady he has an affair with, like, how can he get to the castle? And she said, please, not in front of the children, and so on. You know, immediately, castle is identified as an obscenity. Then once he tries to phone to the castle, and the only contact he gets is two old men talking absolute obscenities, then, a beautiful detail, he takes a walk up towards the castle. And the more he comes close to it, the more he sees that what appeared from far away, the beautiful big palace, is really just a bundle of huts all falling apart, and so on and so on. Kafka is the true genius. Then, maybe my personally favorite, I really ask people to read it. It's lesser known, but now even by my Russian friends, he is rediscovered. It is, did you hear, Andrei Platonov, Foundation. I think he's a unique figure. He was very active Bolshevik. He even later went to the countryside to help spread civilization there among some in southern Soviet Union, some tribes. But that's the paradox, not in the usual Solzhenitsyn dissident way. He saw from the beginning the dangerous nihilist dimension, self-destructive dimension, but still participating in it. He is almost my ideal figure. You know, it's a miracle that he survived, because in the late 20s, one of his manuscripts ended on Stalin's table, and it's kept just Stalin wrote, "Total pig, don't publish this," like something very good. But he is, for me, the most precious one, because without engaging in this cheap, later humanist dissidence, he saw the nihilist dimension in already early Bolshevism, because I think the one I don't like, for example, and I was so nicely surprised when I saw that all my Russian friends, they are now in trouble, most of them emigrated, agree with me. If you want to learn about Gulag, just don't touch Solzhenitsyn. He's a boring moralizer and so on. You know Varlam Shalamov, Kolima Tales. It's written in the style of early Hemingway, very short sentences without too many predicates, descriptions. In this minimalist style, he describes the daily horrors of Kolima, the greatest gulag, and that's the real thing. And all my Russian friends agree with me. They say that Solzhenitsyn was paradoxically too much influenced by Soviet reality. You know, his version of dissidence has as a background Stalinism. It's immanent negation. Well, if you look again for the pure like single malt whiskey. Pure version of it, it's Varlam Shalamov. I have, so this would be the three great 20th century, no? Then I have here and there not so much novels like forget about Goethe, Schiller. Schiller is the first fascist, if you ask me. I developed this in one of my books. He wrote, Schiller is usually identified with freedom. He wrote The Bell, Glocke or what, a poem which was kind of a national treasure under Nazism. It's a most terrible poem that I read. You have a country where everybody is at his, her, their place. Men going around, adventures, women stay at home. Then, that's his reading, then something horrible happened. Women wanted more in public life, and this is how he interprets the French Revolution. It's the horror of women getting active, then through crashing revolution, women are put back at their side, and all the people unite in building a big bell for new cathedral and so on. It's the best short poem, it's not even so short, on the genesis of fascism. So it's not those, my favorite there is Helmut von Kleist, Marquise von O, and so on. If I were to, when you ask which is the best beginning of a novel or story, in a German newspaper, a lady publishes an ad claiming, I found myself pregnant, but I don't remember with whom to displace the father. And it's done in this total realistic way. It's not shock and so on. Not to mention his apparently totalitarian, very militaristic place. He is my hero up to a point. Brecht, although let's not mask it, Brecht was a very heavy totalitarian. Then it my tastes are here very strange. Paul Claudel, the French Catholic right wing, but he wrote a play called Le Otage, Hostage as a feminine, a play around the time of French Revolution, which was even directly a model for the harshest Brecht, for the Brecht of this learning place, Lehrstücke, the most totalitarian. So I claim that every intelligent progressive author had to learn from Catholic conservatives, Then of contemporary novels, it may be a shock for you. I don't like him especially, but I saw also a movie. I openly admitted the source is the movie. Did you see the movie that Ishiguro, I mentioned it yesterday, come?
Never Let Me Go.
Yeah, you can. Kazuo Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go. It's the best ambiguous dystopia that I've ever read. Because, it's a group of people in a special institution, and they discovered that they are genetic clones raised so that when they are mature enough, their organs will be used one after the other, and then when they come to the edge, they die. But what I really like, it's ingenious, it's that it's not, there was a stupid movie with, was it Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson, I forgot the title. It's the same story, but done in this usually pseudo-leftist revolutionary way, like they discover it and they resist, escape. No, here it is, they knew, and they are even free to go out, but it's very enigmatically written because it doesn't you don't get a good reason of why in a total resignation they accept this fate. It's maybe the most depressive novel that I've read. But I must say that lately I more and more limit myself from time to time to a good spy novel. I'm getting old, my eyes are getting weak, so I simply, what I do, this I will be ashamed to admit it. When I find a really good novel, oh my God, this will, I go to Wikipedia, because I don't trust myself. I want to be sure in advance that I know what it is about the story, and that I read just selected parts. But when I have to write about a book, people think that it's some postmodern joke that I'm kidding. I am not. When I write about a novel, I try not to read it. It's one of because his best sayings, Oscar Wilde, that when you are asked to review a book, don't read the book, because this may make your judgment partial. I do. Then, if I am, as it were, convinced by my own review, what I wrote, that it may be good, I go and read the novel, and I'm often disappointed. This is my worst Hegelian side, Theory about something is more than that something. Don't take too much of that something, because it may hurt your theoretical, destroy your theoretical. No. Insight. Wait a minute. I'm not a complete idiot. It's very. If you read the novel after good theory, then if it's a really good novel, it's wonderful how you can be pleasantly surprised. I was wrong. But this I was wrong is much better when you notice the difference than directly going to read the novel.